they do, and this is the kind of effect it has on people around them. Is that clear? So the same thing again. Tell the story of the great communicator, the other person listens, and the observers, I want you to watch and be able to see both of them, and I want you to be able to tell me very, very clearly what it is the listener does. So who's the listener? So that we don't have to wait too long to get them up. So one person from each group come up, and you're going to have to shout them. You're going to be a good communicator, and when you say this out loud, listen to me, when you say this out loud, you need to look at everybody in the room and say with a nice big voice that reaches Phyllis at the back there, what the good communication is.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we stick them on here.
Fine.
So, yeah, but they need the bell to know that they have to listen. Excuse me, ladies, we're doing an exercise. I'm listening here, please. Listening. Lovely. Okay, be with us. 100% present.
Okay, I start.
Yeah.
In the good communication, first of all, you have to be a good listener.
Yeah. Okay, so stick that one on.
Second, you have to be understandable. Because at the time somebody is talking to you, you have to understand what she's telling you.
Okay.
The third one, you have to have respect. Without respect, you cannot communicate.
Okay. So these came from the stories. Lovely.
From the stories.
So another one then, Zippy?
To be a good communicator, you have to use gestures, like use of hands, like the way she's doing.
Okay, so using gestures, body language is part of the message.
You have to be audible so that everyone could hear you.
Audible, yeah. So the voice has to carry. Oh, one the other way. I'll get you a bit of tape. There you go. Yeah.
Then you have to involve your audience so that they don't get bored.
Absolutely good. Yeah. Yeah. Is that the right way around? No, it's not the sticky side. I gave you sticky paper, Zippy. And she used the wrong side. Oh, there you go. Oh, very creative. See what she did? Brilliant. There. And notice how big and clear their writing is. Let's listen. Okay?
With a good communicator, we have also seen using gestures, hands, and everything that you can make fresher impression. We can see from your face what you are talking.
Yes. So put the gestures next to this one then. You've got gestures, put that one there. And maybe facial, you said also, put the facial one there too. Yeah.
Again, we saw some people do use fans to make the story lively. Using fans.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Yeah, adding some fun helps the story get across. So the best communicators tell you stories. Yeah, they don't just give you information, they tell you stories. And it makes it more interesting. Somebody else? Yeah? Now remember, you have to look at them and with a big voice, because you're being a good communicator.
To be a good communicator, you should be smart always, all the time.
Okay. So smart in your dress or smart in your head? Okay, both. Smart in your dress and smart in your head.
Also, through your talkings, you should have respect.
Okay, we have respect, so we'll stick that one on respect. Aha.
Also, you should keep time.
Ah. Because somebody who communicates, you lose the audience. You're going to be on time. Lovely? Okay, another one? Now remember, what are you trying to do? You're modeling good communication.
To be a good communicator.
Excuse me. Where are the ground rules? Where are the ground rules? No compassion, respect, listen to other people's opinions. Your colleague here is speaking. Your colleague is speaking, so ladies, I can throw something at you maybe, I don't know. We have some ground rules that says if somebody's speaking, we have to listen. There's no point putting these words up here if you're not going to do them. If you're saying respect each other, because when it comes to business this afternoon, and you say, I'm going to respect my customer, no, if you put these words up, they have to mean something. Otherwise, don't tell me these words, because they're pointless. You have to speak the truth and be the truth in everything you do. So we're listening to...
You have to have good listeners.
Okay.
You have to prepare in advance. And you have to be fluent. You have to be understandable.
Yeah, so we had that already. So stick understandable on the understandable. What else did you have? Yeah, you see where we had it? You have to be understandable. What does that mean? What if I am understandable, what am I doing? Sorry? If I'm being understandable, I'm loud and clear. What else am I doing? I'm talking like this, but I'm going to be... Yeah, my articulation. I'm articulating the words. I'm not eating my words like this and I'm chewing gum at the same time. I'm speaking clearly. I'm making an effort to say the words clearly, to use all the muscles that I have. You know you have more muscles that make your words than any other part of your body. There's about 46 or more muscles that actually work to make your mouth work. And when you don't use them all, then you don't talk very clearly. People can't understand you, and you're not audible. So you have to use all of these muscles that God gave you and be able to speak clearly and loudly. Because that also says, I have pride, I have self-worth, I have something important to say, I have something worthy to say. Because if you don't feel that you have something worthy to say, people don't believe it and they won't listen. So you respect your audience too. So if you say we're going to have lunch at 12:30, you better finish so they can have lunch at 12:30. Okay, so keeping on time and respecting. If we say we're going to talk about the things they want to talk about, we're going to try and talk about the things that they want to talk about. Okay, so we do that. We use gestures, so we help people it helps them pay attention and underscore some of the words that you're saying. You involve the audience if you can. So you might even just have them turn to your neighbour and discuss what we've just talked about. Or turn to your neighbour and you know, say thank you to your neighbour, or whatever it is that you do, you can involve. We said keep time, we said gestures, clean and smart. If I'd known you were all going to be smart, I would have put my best dresses on and I'd put my jeans on. And if I thought you were bringing the movie, I would definitely put my stuff on. The preparation, so if you have a message to deliver, be clear in your head. Now this is even if you have a difficult customer and you're going to think, okay, they're coming back to complain about something. Think before you get in front of them what you want to say and how you want to say it. Because if you don't, you risk saying something in anger, which is then going to spoil your communication and maybe even break that, and you never have that person as a customer again. Now you might go into your house and say, well, I told her, and I feel better for that. Certainly told her what to do with it. But what have you also done? You've lost a customer. You've lost a client. You won't be selling to that person again. So sometimes you just have to say, even when my client is wrong, I have to find a way of saying, okay, fine. I mean, if this is how you really want to do it, then let's try it that way. I would prefer to do it this, but I'm happy, we'll do it that way. Usually when I explain to my client, or I'll say to them what we agreed was, or this is how we originally discussed that we would do this, oftentimes they remember, and it happened to me just this week, and I just got an email back this morning saying, yes, Pamela, you're right. We can't do all those things in one day. We're going to limit the program to this. And my director said, let's go with your agenda. Because I sent her agenda. She sent me one back that really wasn't feasible. She had so many things that she wanted to do in one day that we can't possibly cover it in one day. Because you see how much talking we need to do for each topic. And so I wrote back and I said, I understand that you need to do this. Let's take a look in time how long we think we need for each of these things. I didn't say to her, but I don't think you can do it. And I didn't say, you shouldn't do it this way. And I didn't say, I know better than you because this is my business. I said, let's sit down together and time this out so we can see how long each of these might take. And so she looked at it, she did that, and then she sent me a message back saying, you know, you're right, we can't do all of this. We're just going to focus on these few things. And I went, whew. But if I'd sent her a rude message back saying, oh, this is really stupid, how do you think you can do this? I would have lost my client. And she would have told other people that, oh, I wouldn't work with this woman again. She's very rude, very arrogant. And so it doesn't help me. It doesn't help me grow my business. Yeah? So prepare what I want to say, think about it, even practice it at home. Before, and it's the same with your husband, it's the same with your kids, it's the same going to the doctor or going to the teacher. Think in your home, what do I want to say to this person? How do I want the conversation to end? What do I want to get out of it? Do I want them to agree with me? Do I want them to give me some more time? Do I want them to pay more money? Do I want them to, whatever it is. Be clear what you want and practice and say the words. So that when you get in front of them, you're not all nervous and say anything that comes into your head, which is not. Because then you walk out and what do you say to yourself? Oh, I wish I'd said. How many of you have done that? You've walked away from a difficult conversation and you're going, oh, I should have said, and I wish I'd said, and why didn't I say, and this is what I should have said, because you didn't prepare in advance. And sometimes people will come to me, like last week a friend came to me because she's having trouble at work and she thinks she's going to lose her job, and I sat her down and we had lunch together and I said, okay, Susanna, what do you want out of this? Do you want to lose your job? Do you want to, it's close to Christmas. You're going to need money for that. Not many people hiring this time of the year. It's going to be difficult to get another job right now. It's going to be at least 3 months before. So you can go, you can lose your job because she'll get some compensation from the state. In Switzerland, it's not like here in Kenya. She can get some, what we call dole, some money. So, but she's still, her father's just died, her mother's just died, she has their house to take care of, she has all their things, so she needs some money, she's on her own, no husband. So what do you want out of this conversation? Because she was ready to go in and tell them, shut your job, I don't want your job. And so we sat down and we had this conversation. At the end of the day I said, right, what do you want, how are you going to say? Okay, I'm going to calm down, I'm just going to wait and listen and see what happens. So instead of going out and shouting at the person, her boss, she came and talked it out with me, and I just sat and listened and kept feeding her. And at the end of the lunch, she knew what she wanted to do, which is wait and see what happens. Because she can't afford to lose her job right now, even if she does get some money from the state. And it's not a good time. So she can still be looking for a job, but she still has one while she's doing that. So let's not burn the bridges. Let's not burn the bridges. Let's keep with what we've got, and we can always be looking for something better afterwards. So this is all about preparation. So adding some fun to the story, telling some stories about the stories, so it adds a bit of interest. Being patient. If they remember this morning, somebody said, what did she say? She wasn't able to do the job because she was blindfolded. Sometimes your audience isn't with you. They're not quite where you think they are. So you have to be patient and help them get there. They haven't had all the training that you've been getting from Ezel and the group. So they may not know what you know. They have not had the experiences you've had. So sometimes they might be a bit slower, just like the blindfolded person was. She couldn't walk fast, she was very slow. Sometimes your audience is slow, getting to where you need them to be. And so you have to be patient. And keep the story flowing. and then know when to finish. And I'm finished. All right? Just in case we needed to be reminded, here they come. Remember the ground rules? Be on time, we just read, we're on time rates. We committed to today, so we continue to be committed. We're passionate, we're all very passionate women, right? No distracting movements, but be very physical when you need to be. We're respecting each other. We're listening to each other's opinions. We're switching off mobiles. We're going to love each other. We're going to use hands for plenary, so we don't all talk at once, but when that person talks, everybody else listens, and we're going to obey these rules. Yeah? You still with us? Yes. Brilliant. We have two big things that we need to talk about. We might not get to everything on your board, but we need to talk about teamwork is one thing. How are we going to work as a team? Because one of the things you said that creates obstacles is that you're on your, well, somebody said, you know, the sort of support that you might get from people. And so maybe we need to look at how do we work really well in a team. And the other thing is, what is a great businesswoman? What do you need to do to be a great businesswoman? Now, if we have time, we can talk about a business plan, but that's kind of a little bit of a different workshop. But we'll take a look at that, and maybe that's something that Edda might want to pick up later in terms of including in your training. Is, you know, how do you write a business plan and how do you prepare for that? But we'll see what we can get through. But first of all, do those two things sound like that's okay? How do you work in a team, and what is the profile of a really good businesswoman, a successful businesswoman? Yeah? Yes, no, yes?
First, you have to look for a good site where people are.
Okay, all right. But I mean, in terms of those two ideas, these are two ideas that we're happy working on this afternoon. Yeah? Is that Kenyon from absolutely Pamela Rowley with you? Oh, I'm not quite sure. Are you 100% present yet? Or are you still full of all that nice lunch?
I think we're not clear about what your question really is.
Okay, and what I'm saying, we have two big things that I thought came out of this morning, the things you wanted to talk about. One was how do we support, what is teamwork, what is good teamwork, and how do we support each other? Because you're not in this together. And the other thing is, what is the profile of a really good businesswoman? How do we be good businesswomen? What should it look like? So those are two things which I thought we'd work on this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Oh, I thought I got it all wrong there. Okay, so teamwork. What is great teamwork? What I'd like to do for that is I'd like to put you into some teams, and I'm going to ask you to, I'm going to give you a task to do that. And we've got a little room here, one of the teams is going to go into, we've got a little room there, and then we've got two groups working in here. So, do I just want to focus? That's going to be quite big groups. We want smaller groups than that. No, I'm going to have 4 groups in here and 1 in each of those. So I'm going to count you right now, and you have to remember your number, because that's the group you're going to be in. You with me? Yes. All right, so keep me on track so I know who's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 1, 5. Carry 5. 1. 6. Okay. So when we go, the 1s are going to be in that room, the 2s are going to be in this room, and then the 3s, the 4s, the 5s, and the 6s are going to be in this room. And you're going to have a big piece of paper, and you can have 2 if you want to stick 2 together, and you've got to have a discussion and talk, so everybody talks, and you can take the colored pens. Okay, you take colored pens, and I want you to create a drawing, or it could be a poster, that demonstrates a good team, good teamwork. So if this group is working as a great team, what does that look like? So you have to talk about it, agree what you want out of good teamwork, and then you have to create for me a drawing that pictures a great team working together. Is that clear?
Yes.
So, number ones, where are you going? Yeah, number twos, you're in this room, and so we'll come and we'll bring you a piece of paper and some pens. So number threes over here, you can work around the poster. Number fours are over there, you can work around the table. Number fives are up back here, and number sixes, you're back here. You can either work on the flip chart or you can work on the table. You discuss first of all, agree what that great team is, what good teamwork is, then you have to draw a picture that represents the team working, the great team working together. And then we're going to see what those pictures look like. I'm only going to give you, look at the clock, it's 10:02, you've got to be ready by 15:15. 25 minutes. Alright, so go to the bed. There you go, Judith's sorting out already. She's a leader this morning. You're number three?
Yes.
You're five. I think five were over there. Number four is here. Number three is here. Number five is there. And number six is there. So where's number three?
Here.
So there's more, there should be six of you, no, five of you in each group. Okay, you've got five, great. Yeah, you got through, okay, good. I had a little box of pens. And they can explain to us, they can explain that picture, what it says, and they can explain to us why they drew that picture. Right, Julia, tell us about your teamwork.
Okay, this is group one. We were reflecting on the good teamwork. We came up with issues like, in good teamwork, all the members should be ready to work together as point one. Point two, the team members should be ready to speak in unison. That is one voice for all the team members, one decision from all the members. Point number three, we found out that we have to be ready to solve problems together. Problems that encounter the group should be part and parcel of each member of the group, and therefore we have to be ready to solve the problems together as a member. A luggage, and as you can see, it's very heavy. Juliet alone cannot carry it, so she will need assistance from friends or members of the team to assist carry the luggage or the burden of the group. So in our group one, we help each other carry the burdens of the group, and we believe that two are better than one. Thank you.
This group two, as you can see the sketch, come down and see that in teamwork, we have to be patient. We have to keep our secrets in case we talk anything about the group or the running of the group. You don't have an able to go outside and tell others about what we are talking about. We have to keep the records. Maybe we are doing savings, maybe go rounds, we have to keep the records clearly. When we come with a sketch here, you can see they're telling a very big stone. It's a drawing bed. And it's called together as you can succeed.
This is group 3. Working as a team, basically, we thought as first, if we come together, we first don't choose like the chair lady and any other person. First, we don't give ourselves titles. Maybe we could come up with some money or some contributions or savings. Then we'd buy something like a small place. We'd grow some food, then harvest it like all of us together without those titles. Then we share the harvest, go to different markets, sell, and in that way we go as groups, not as a single person, to avoid any dishonesty, miscommunication, things like that. So when we divide ourselves to go to different markets, we come up with the money, back now to the group. So there now we can decide, like, this could be the chair lady with their different ideas that they come up with. Then we could use the money again to put into another project that would again bring out the money. So this way, without us having those titles initially, as in the chair lady and all that, to break down all the dishonesty and people not wanting to do different jobs, the money comes in later, so we come up like with, we can make other structures, then we could get something like rent, or we could buy machines and do tailoring, or teach students to, that way we would still bring in some more income. Then again we invest in another project, or we take it to the bank and receive another loan. So that way there's togetherness. That way you feel she's not the chair lady. She doesn't have to go and gossip me with whoever, because we all came together. We all went to the farm, we all went to the market, we all contributed to this thing. So eventually it is a teamwork. Thank you.
Okay. God is good all the time.
God is good and that is nature.
Wow. So now here in group 4, we decided to have an umbrella as our logo. This umbrella, it means unity. I think you can see the pictures of love. Which means we have got great love in orphans and widows. And as our aim, we have decided to open an orphanage home to help those students who are left abandoned also. So in our group, our rules are here. No gossiping, because wherever you gossip, you entertain a devil in your group. And each and everything will come to a breakdown. Faithfulness, it matters a lot. Without being faithful to one another, you can't manage a teamwork or a group. Respect. We do respect one another. Whatever is small or what, we don't care, provided we are in a teamwork. Commitment. We do commit. Even if you are busy like a bee, you have to commit.
Good afternoon. Our group, we came up with this idea that like a salad. Most of us require salads. I mean, salad is something everyone would love to eat. But imagine in that salad, there's a banana, there's a lemon, which is so bitter, and you cannot eat like two lemons alone. There's all these other fruits which are mixed up. So in a group, we are individuals who have their strengths and their weaknesses. And in our group, as an individual, there are things you can do alone. But there are other things which you need me, you need Lillian, you need Pamela to do them. So that's why we came with this idea that we picked the keywords. In honesty, you have to, in a group, you have to be true to each other. Everything that you do, every group member has to know it. We have to be time conscious. We've got to form a good group. Like we've agreed on, time is everything that everyone has. So we have to be conscious of it. We have to be committed. If you're not committed to collapse. Because if I'm not committed, I'm assuming maybe John will be committed, and maybe John thinks the other person will be committed, it will collapse. Then we have to be patient. We all have needs, we all have problems, we all have this weakness which sometimes we think I cannot stand her weakness, but we just have to be patient enough. We have to understand each other in a group. We have to carry each one's burden. Then trust is trustworthy. If I trust you, we trust you as a treasurer. We need you to be able to keep safe our money. If we trust you as our leader, we trust you to give us good guidance. If you're a member, you're so important. So whatever duty you're given, you need to carry it in a way to suggest, I can be trusted with this duty. And together we are strong. Yes.
You know, those things you have to be aware of so that we can trust each other, that we can be and ready to adhere to the ground rules. Now that assumes that you have ground rules for your team. One of the first things I do with no matter which teams I work with is I say to them, you have to agree the ground rules for this team. Just as I did with you for this workshop here, so I can keep going back and I can keep on saying, hang on, we said that we would respect, we said we listen to everyone, so you can't distract, you can't be having a conversation. You need to be listening to who's talking. Because remember you said this morning when you were having that listening exercise, what were some of the words that people said when they weren't listened to? I didn't feel worthy. I felt that she didn't respect me. I couldn't keep my thoughts on track. I had to stop my story. She was completely, it felt ignorance. It was rude. So all of those things